YouTube, what's going on? YC Image here with another vlog, and today is the day. I gotta send the 5D back today, and I've been having a lot of requests about people asking why I prefer the 5D footage over the GH4. Is it sharper? Is it better? Is it blah blah? So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna test the two cameras head to head, and I just wanted to give you all a few back-end logistics on how I'm gonna do it. Basically, if you didn't know, the 5D has a 1.74 times crop factor on the 4K, and the GH4 with the Metabone speed booster has around a 1.7 to a 1.8 times crop factor on the 4K, and basically that allows the 5D to be able to use the exact same lens that the GH4 uses. So I'm going to be using the exact same lens on both cameras with the exact same settings as far as ISO and shutter and stuff like that, and then I'm going to put the footage side by side so you all can see which one looks better, which one's sharper, which color's better. Of course, the colors are going to be different because they're going to be filmed in two different picture profiles, but you can just see the overall quality between the two cameras. And the thing that I've been like kind of skeptical about, or just I've been interested in, is the 5D footage just seems to have a lot more bokeh in it, and it kind of really doesn't make sense to me because, as I said, they both have the same crop factor, well, around the same crop factor. So the 5D, I don't know, just me looking at the footage, it just seems to be producing a lot more bokeh in it. And I don't know, I want to do a bokeh test, I want to do a sharpness test, I want to do maybe a rolling shutter test, and just so you all can see how good the footage looks compared to each other. You might prefer the GH4, you might like the 5D, it might surprise you, it might surprise me. Maybe I'm just tired of how the GH4 looks, but I honestly do think the 5D footage looks better. But regardless of that, we're going to get into this test right now.
Manifest the love we feel inside into human relations, and I feel the frustration of trying to get it across.
Well, the frustration is because it is due to the fact that you're looking for a reaction from somebody else. You're defining the way in which you feel your love is working by how somebody reacts.
Alright, first test we're going to run through is the bokeh test. I got the 5D right here on a tripod, and we're going to be aiming it at the same test subject, which is the flower right there. And the GH4 does not have 100 ISO, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have 200 ISO on the 5D at all times, just so everything's even, and you can basically see the difference between the two, no differences, and the shutter speed, the aperture, any of that. And we're gonna run through the first test right now. So at the exact same settings on the GH4 and the 5D, as far as aperture, shutter, and ISO on different picture profiles, the picture seems to be a little bit overexposed on the GH4. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adjust the actual shutter speed just to get the pictures perfectly exposed, or just exposed close enough to where you can see them actually looking the same and not have the GH4 look overexposed with the same settings, if that makes sense.
And you see that they're another being, and they're a being that is only, all you can feel is love for them. And later, you stop demanding they be anything in return, that they say, oh, I feel so loved, or thank you for loving me, or I love you too,
Another disclaimer I forgot to mention is I don't have an ND filter for my Sigma 18-35, so if y'all looking at the settings on the screen, y'all thinking, why is he shooting at these crazy shutter speeds? That's because I don't have an ND filter and I needed the low aperture for the bokeh test. This shot I'm doing right here, I'm basically just filming the speed limit sign right here, and there's a couple other elements in the photo as well. In the frame, you have the brick wall right here, and there's also trees in the background, and this is at an 11 on the aperture, so it should be a lot in focus. You'll be able to see the actual sharpness of the two cameras side by side. No bokeh in it at all, just overall sharpness. Next test I'm doing is I'm filming this exact same brick wall close up to do a texture test. And I'm gonna be at an 18mm on the 5D, and the aperture is very high, set at an 11. I have no clue, but on my GH4, the aperture on this lens only goes up to 11, and I believe it goes up to 22 on the 5D. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm filming at the highest aperture possible for the GH4 on the 5D, so they're the same. And I'm just filming this texture on the wall. I'll be able to zoom in on it, put them side by side so you can see how the quality differs between each other. And that's the texture test. Next test I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filming the back of the car. And I'm going to be doing that at around like a medium aperture, maybe like a 6 or a 7 or something like that. That way you all can see how both of these cameras perform on the same lens at a low aperture, a medium aperture, and also in high aperture. And it's also some words on the back of the car on the license plates and stuff like that. So I'll be able to zoom in on that so you all can see the quality of the actual two images side by side. Maybe zoom in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm about to do now. Next test I'm going to run through is the rolling shutter test. I have this little white thing. I don't know. The only reason I picked it is because it goes straight up in the air, and you should be able to see if the rolling shutter is bad because it goes straight up in the air and it'll look like jello. But me personally, I'm not a person that cares too much about rolling shutter, but when you have cameras like the one I'm on, the Sony A6300, and you want to shoot something intense for a music video, like say you want to have it like rocking all over the place and kind of just, you know what I'm saying, just an intense feeling for the video. If your footage looks like jello, it's just gonna be bad. So that's why I'm gonna show you all the rolling shutter on these two. I don't know if I should crank the shutter speed up. I don't know. I'm gonna do it with the shutter speed low, and I'm gonna do it with the shutter speed high as well, so you all can see. But as I said, I'm not really a person who cares too much about it. But if it's horrible like this is, I kind of care about it. So I don't know. Some other people might care about it a lot more than I do. So I'm gonna run through the rolling shutter test right now. I think that's going to conclude my GH4 versus 5D Mark IV video test. I won't reflect on the actual footage side by side until the end of the video when I get a chance to look at it on the computer blown up to 4K. But I think I'm about to pack this thing up and ship it back to its rightful owner. Also, I just went to go drop off the 5D and send it back to the place where I rented it from, which is borrowlenses.com. If you all are looking for a place to rent things online, you can hit them up, or Lens Rental. Lensrentals.com, I think. I don't know. It's Lens Rental. If you search it, you'll find it. But I don't know which one has cheaper prices. But I did get a $25 coupon. I have such a problem with that word. Coupon. I got a coupon for my next order, which I'm debating on right now because I want to get into renting equipment and you know, just doing testing, letting you all know, as well as just getting some experience with other cameras for myself as well. But just getting you all the feel for the cameras, the quality that they put out, and letting you know if they're good or bad cameras. But a lot of people are like, have been commenting on my pictures, on my 5D posts, on my video posts, and they are telling me to get an A7S II. And I get the logic behind it, but just let me break down to y'all why I don't want to get an A7S II, and I probably wouldn't buy an A7S II. The A7S II is great in low light, don't get me wrong, full frame camera, all that good stuff like that. But why I don't want an A7S II, man, is the cons of it just outweigh the pros for me. And I know that's odd as hell, but it's not necessary for me to get an A7S II. You know what I'm saying? I already have a 4K camera. I have my GH4, and I have my Sony A6300, which is very close to the A7S II in a lot of aspects. I like, the way I feel about it is, if I wanted to turn my A6300 into an A7S II, I could potentially do that in a lot of instances. Maybe not to the point where I could go out and shoot at like 50,000 ISO and have the picture quality still be clean. But my logic behind it is, I don't want to shoot in the dark. Like, it's cool to be able to shoot in the dark. Yeah, I mean, it's a plus, of course, but that's not the goal for me. Like, I don't want to go out and shoot under a street light or shoot in the dark somewhere. Like, nah, like, that's just not the goal. I don't think people realize that boosting your ISO is never going to replace the look of a light. Like, the look of a softbox or a spotlight in your music video scene is never, you can never replace that look by boosting your ISO up to 50,000 or 40,000. You know what I'm saying? So why would I go out and, you know what I'm saying, drop that extra $2,000 to $3,000 on a camera that can perform in low light? It's cool, you know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be shooting the same stuff. Why not take that money and go invest in better lighting, or even other better equipment that I need, a better shoulder rig, stuff like that? Like, why not go get nice lights instead of investing in a camera that can shoot in the dark? Like, shooting in the dark is not gonna do anything for me. Like, it's cool to be able to do it, yeah, but I'm still gonna be shooting the same stuff. Like, I don't think people realize how much lighting transforms your whole visual, the way, the quality of everything that you do. Lighting is everything, literally. Like, if you shoot a video at 720 with better lighting than a video that is shot off of a red, more than likely the 720 video will look a lot better. Like, I don't think y'all realize that. Like, I don't think people realize the magnitude and the severity of lighting, man. Like, lighting is literally everything, and you can't replace the look of a light by boosting the ISO all the way up. So, I mean, it's cool to be able to shoot in those low light situations, but that's not the goal for me. Like, if I went out and I bought an A7S II and I don't get new lights or I don't get lighting, I'm just gonna be shooting the same type of stuff. Like, all of these cameras are sharp at the end of the day. They're all gonna look good, but if I just go get another, if I constantly keep getting a new camera and not other equipment, my video is just gonna look the same. I think people don't notice that. I see people, they go out and they constantly keep upgrading their camera and they think that's gonna make their visual look better. And it might make it look a little bit sharper, yes, but other equipment is what makes the video. Your stabilizers, your lighting, your everything else but the camera, man, in most instances makes your visual, man. And that's nuts. Like, that's why it really doesn't matter what camera you have. I don't want to go out and spend an extra $2,000 to $3,000 on an A7S II to shoot better in the dark. That's just not what I want. And on top of that, the rolling shutter on it is horrible. I'm not gonna be able to do those intense rocky shots like I like to do on my music videos sometimes. The S-Log profile starts at 1600 on there, which is not that great for me. I don't really like that. I don't want to go out and purchase a lot of ND filters for my lenses. I mean, that's just a few of the cons that I don't really like. That's just a few of the cons of the Sony A7S II that just don't work in my favor. The battery life is horrible. Like I said, I already have an A6300. I'm basically already getting the full Sony experience. I just don't have full frame and I just can't shoot at 50,000 ISO. If it's something else that the A7S can do that I'm not thinking of, that the Sony A6300 can't do, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But if I'm looking at it that way, that's the only thing I'm missing. I basically have an A7S II right here in my hands. They both have really bad rolling shutter. They both have really bad battery life. They have S-Log 2, and this actually, the S-Log 2 on this actually starts at 800 ISO, and on the A7S II, it starts at 1600. So if you look at it that way, that's kind of a benefit on this camera. Of course, it's a crop sensor, but man, the only thing that I'm missing from this being an A7S II is this is not full frame, and I can't go out and shoot in dark. If it's something else I'm missing, make sure to comment and correct me in the comments, man, because I might be completely wrong. But I'm just going off of the things that I'm just going off of the pros of the camera, and those pros of that camera is not worth me paying the extra $2,000 or $3,000 or however much it is to get that camera. It's just not worth it. That's just my take on it. I know y'all want me to go get one, but I don't see the need to go get it. I don't see it. I don't see why. And on top of that, I'm already a Canon EF lens user, so I'm not saying I'm gonna go get a Canon, but I don't see why I want me to go get that over the 5D. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't know. That's just my thought process on me not wanting to get an A7S II. I had a chance to sit down and look at the footage of both of these cameras blown up side by side, and they look really alike, honestly. What I can say is, I think the reason for me leaning towards the 5D footage over the GH4 footage is just the colors. Like, I'm just simply not a fan of the Cinelike-D picture profile. It's just horrible. I really need to get Vlog on my GH4 just to appreciate it a little bit more, but the colors of the two picture profiles as well as the screen on the GH4 is just horrible. Like, you're looking at the footage on the screen and you think like, man, this footage is not even that sharp looking, but you blow it up on a computer and it looks a lot better. So side by side, man, these images are a lot alike. I do tend to like the Cinelike-D colors. No, not Cinelike-D, Cinestyle colors a lot more than Cinelike-D though. And I think that's where I was appreciating that footage more than my GH4. When I was going in and I was doing my color grade and I was getting a lot more dynamic range, the colors were just a lot smoother. I was getting a lot less grain. So I don't know, man. Sharpness side by side, pretty much the same. But when you going up high in those ISOs, man, the 5D is just killing the GH4 in every instance, man. I can just tell that by sitting down and editing my low light footage from my 5D, from the 5D. So that's just my take on it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all check this footage out on the computer at full 4K. Don't look at it on your phone because you're not going to be able to tell any type of difference. And I mean, even on the computer, you're not going to be able to really tell any type of difference. Just in the colors, honestly. Like I said, they're both sharp. So, I mean, you can't really tell much of anything different between the two footages. And it's the full test is on the channel. This is just a preview, and I just wanted to show you all how I did the test. The actual test is on the channel. Make sure y'all go look at it at 4K on the computer so y'all can see the difference between the two cameras. But regardless of that, man, I'm going to close this vlog out right now. If you liked it, make sure to like it, comment, and also subscribe. And I'm going to check you out on my next vlog tomorrow. Peace.
Try